Alright everyone, this is my first review of rosters only because he was the first one that asked for it, and now I see that there's about 75 of them for me to do, which is great because it'll give me something to do while the kids are sleeping, which is what I'm doing right now. It gives me something to do whenever I don't have anything else to do. So the first player that has asked me for a roster review, name I can't tell you how to actually pronounce it as far as what he wants, but I think the best I could do would be Sotetsarkany. But whenever I think of this particular individual, I just think of him as Sots. So I don't know how anybody else does that, but that's sort of the persona that I've given him whenever he would talk. It would be Sots. And what we're going to do, he's asked me to spend quite a bit of time on the mods, which we can take a look at. But since doing a first overall roster review, I asked a series of questions. And the first question that I asked was a 1 to 10 scale of how he would rate his current roster, and he rated himself a 7 to 8, which even if I was thinking about rating my own roster, it would probably be somewhere around a 6 to a 7, because I tend to look at things, anything is incomplete, is just not being good as far as the game is concerned. Maybe even lower than that. I might even look at my own roster as a 5. So I have quite a high standard for rosters, but I don't think that that's an unfair rating as far as what I've been able to see with his roster. And if you look at the arena team currently riding the wave of Anakin, which a lot of people have been, again, we picked up on this day one. Anakin just destroying in the arena 60, 70, 80, 100,000 crits on his AoEs and on his basics. So riding the wave of Anakin, a lot of people are, until that's of course going to be fixed. So the arena team right now, in my opinion, is the second best arena team that you could currently have. And it's the General Kenobi Anakin version. I like that one better than all of the other ones. It seems to be the quickest to win, and seems to be the most sturdy. It holds up even if things don't go particularly your way, and that was also the arena team that I ran whenever I geared Anakin up and was testing it. So love the team. The arena team's perfect for right now. Of course, we'll check back on that once Anakin has been fixed, if they fix him, which I'm sure they will. And in fleet, it's pretty much at this moment a typical fleet lineup as far as what I can see. If you either have Millennium Falcon or you don't, and he does, so he's running a 6-star version of it, which is better than if he would have just unlocked it. Of course, we all want to see the 7-star, especially if there's going to be a ship raid, so that's definitely something to look for in the future, is to get the rest of the bounty hunter ships up, so all of us in ROF can get the 7-star Millennium Falcon in preparation for some kind of a ship raid that we've all been kind of thinking is going to come for a long time. So the 7 to 8 rating on overall roster as far as the arena teams and the fleet arena and squad arena, I think it's even better than that. I think overall, if you give yourself a 7 or 8, looking at your arena teams being current, the rank in the top 20s, don't know when your payout is, I would give your arena right now a 9 rank, because you're literally running the metas currently, with the exception of not having Malik, but Anakin right now is just as good, in my opinion. And you also had mentioned that you were working up finishing the bounty hunter ships, so you're already taking care of your squad arena, and then at the same time you're taking care of your Karth and Juhani and everything else, Canderous, Cassian, Akbar. You're digging into the ships as well as the Old Republic for whenever Darth Revan and Malak return. So you have all of those things covered right now. Some of the other questions, you said that you want to, let's see here, consistently get in top 20 in squad. So I'm taking it that you've had some time periods within a game where you weren't able to get there. Man, I gotta say, Anakin's gonna keep you there until they fix that. Once they come out with that fix, it will be harder to stay in that top 20 ground. for you currently, just because Malik is the best at defense. But again, if you're working to stay consistently with the meta, as of right now, you should be able to go right up into that top 20 and take the team that you're currently running all the way up into first. And that's why we're going to look at some of these mods as well. The other thing that I like to look into is just the overall roster as far as Territory War and Grand Arena. And if we look, starting with your bounty hunters, you have a serviceable group of bounty hunters, I would say. You said you're also working on Bosk, which he's only 5 stars. That would be a main priority that I would list, because Bosk is so useful not only just in arena but in fleets. And until his meta starts to kind of die down, until they start to really bring out the counter ships for him, there's no better utility player in the game right now, in my opinion, than Bosk. So you definitely want to continue both gearing and starring. I would put the gas on farming him to try to get done with him as quick as possible, because you don't want to miss something else because you're going backwards farming Bosk. You have his speed set great at 263, so the mods on him are perfectly fine. But you just don't want to have to be focusing on finishing Bosk whenever something new comes out. So I would really just, my main focus that I would give you right now is just to really go hard on Bosk and get him finished. Put all your resources there while we have a little bit of a mini break, so we don't get stuck behind with him. And Django, you get the luxury of getting him because you don't have Bosk's ship all the way if you're still farming the ship. You got the ship at 6 stars. You can still get Django to 7 stars, so it's a great combination between those two. It looks like you're doing the right thing there. But one other thing here that I'll show you with your bounty hunters is that you have Django fed at gear 8, and he's sitting unmodded. Django can still be a serviceable leader, even if you're not using him for anything else, for territory war team or some kind of team for Grand Arena, because he's given you the plus 30 speed for all scoundrels, which I've found lots of teams that can take advantage of his speed, and he's pretty decent on defense as a leader. So I would mod up Django Fett to have something. Even at gear 8, you're going to get some kind of use of him just for his leader ability, and he's pretty decent otherwise as far as being survivable, because he's like Boba and can revive. So I would really, in the bounty hunter faction, I'll go right after Bosk and then mod up Django and use him as a utility kind of a leader for territory wars and everything else that you need a leader just in a pinch. So that's what I would say with the bounty hunters. With the clones, we know they're going to become important. Your clones look a lot like my clones and look a lot like a lot of people's clones. At least you got them all 7 star till we wait and see what's going to happen with them. I think that you have the right mindset with them, is kind of wait and see approach. Don't just go hammering, because they might bring out tunes that replace these ones with marquees or something in the guild event store. We don't know what they're going to do with clones. As long as you got them 7 star, I would say they're perfect for right now what you do. So can't take nothing away from the clones. With the droids, another faction that I think everybody should be kind of hammering down right now, because you're in that little bit of a break in the meta while they're still trying to fix Malik and get him all up. Another faction to take a look at might be droids, because of General Grievance and his unique ability that makes droids really top end. And you have them all at level 7 abilities. No Omegas on him yet, which that's okay until you really would get him ready to use. But it could be a great territory war team or Grand Arena team to blow up a Darth Revan team because of this unique. Once you Zeta at the start of every character's turn, if Grievance is below 100% health, he dispels all debuffs on himself and inflicts marked on any other droid at the ally at any end of the turn. And the Zeta, which is not listed here because you don't have it, but what it is every time a droid dies, Grievance gets a turn and his cooldowns are reset, so he can do some massive damage. And especially against Darth Revan, it is a great unique ability to Zeta. So I would maybe look for that at some point in time in the future, just gearing Grievance and putting the Zeta on that unique, And you could even use him as a demolition squad with these droids that you have right now, because if you get Grievance finished, gear 12, he's going to hit like a truck. You get his health way up. You can take these droids like T3, K2, IG-86, IG-100, whatever droids they are, and you can stick him with General Grievance as a lead, IPD, and then as they die off in the battle, Grievance will keep getting those turns and keep destroying the enemies with his AoEs. So it's something sort of like a suicide droid squad if you just have General Grievance done. So a lot of people don't know about this strategy or haven't thought about it, and I've personally seen it work, and I myself am gearing up Grievance for that suicide droid squad, so it might be something to look into with the droids. The Empire faction you're doing great with, as somebody that's over 4 million GP. Most people have the Empire squad up and ready, but some good things that you have going on is Range Trooper, and you got him properly modded, it looks like. Maybe try to put a little bit more offense on him, but you got the right mindset, especially if they're just backup mods. You got an offense. Oh no, you don't. Boy, his mods are kind of out of whack. Let's look at some of these other characters, because you wanted to focus a lot on mods. So you got a speed set on Palpatine, that's fine. Thrawn has a couple of 6 dots and a speed set, but we see a tenacity and a random defense triangle. It seems to me like you have a lot of mismatches. Darth Vader doesn't have a cross on. I don't know if you're doing something with him right now. Speed set on Veers is certainly not optimal. You want a crit damage set or an offense set on him. On Tarkin, potency's fine. Death Trooper, same thing. You want crit damage, offense set. Colonel Stark, same thing. You want crit damage, offense. Speed's okay on Stark, but realistically, you want the offensive sets on these guys. TIE Fighter Pilot, you want more health sets, tenacity sets, potency sets. Shore Trooper, you got him good, you got him modded for health. Snow Trooper, you want tons of crit chance. So it looks like you got crit damage sets on him with potency. I wouldn't really care so much about that, but you have pretty decent crit chance on him, 18%. You want to get him over 55% if you can, but around 50% is fine. So you're doing okay with him. But it just seems like you've got a lot on your Empire. We'll go back to Bounty Hunters. Yeah, we got speed sets on Boba. Should have crit damage. Same with Greedo. Should have crit damage. I would say you probably need to spend a lot of time farming crit damage, crit chance mod sets, offense mod sets, as it looks like you have a lot of characters. If we go into First Order, your First Order could certainly use some loving. No Zetas at all, not even on Kylo, and sitting at gear 8. I would suggest First Order is a long-term project, but just kind of checking through the mods. It just looks like you have no optimal, or very few optimal setups going throughout your roster. First Order, you want to run some speed on them. You can get away with all speed sets basically on everybody except for your damage dealers like First Order TIE Pilot. Everybody else can run speed sets, even Masked Kylo can run speed sets, but defense is better, for instance, on Kylo, but they're not really built enough to worry about them. Let's continue going through Genosians. Looks like you could definitely use some work on them coming into the territory battle, but they're a bitch to gear, as we all know. But let's just go back to the Imperial Troopers, because everybody tends to use them. You got the Zeta on Veers, which is great. You got Gear 11s, which is okay. Mostly Gear 11 is going to be fine for pretty much anything you're going to do with them, other than top end teams, if you have them modded correctly. But you really need to get the crit damage, crit chance sets going on these Imperial Troopers. That would help you overall tremendously. I'm going to take a look at the Jedi. So aside from your arena team, you have a lot of focus, it looks like, on your Jedi characters, which is great. And we look at the arena team. Again, we have some random mods thrown in with a speed set, which is okay because I can tell you're going for just overall speed with Revan. 147 set is great. Look at Bastila. We got these just lots of mods that don't match, which again it's okay because I see that you're going for speed. You have her 137, but whenever you have so many mods, you can usually really put it down to you get offense set with 2 other randoms. You can usually put these mods together to make full sets, and it does help a lot to have 4 offense and 2 defense, or 4 speed and 2 tenacity. You get a lot of little extras that help you out if you can do that. And just by taking a glance without really digging into it, it looks like you have some opportunities that you could switch around even in your arena team that are going to give you sort of what you're looking for, to have the 4 and 2s together, or the primarily 4 and 2s, the offense sets with tenacity sets, offense sets with defense sets. But maybe not so much right now, but whenever you're going through your roster and you're looking to upgrade mods especially, that's an opportunity I think that a lot of people can have. So say if you need, a square that is a tenacity, like we have an old Ben here, and you get one and you farm it up as a need. How I like to do it is, say for Jedi Knight Revan, you're running an offense or a defense offensive square because it has the speed, I'm assuming. So clearly it would benefit you on Jedi Knight Revan if you could take this crit damage one away and you could use another crit damage in its place, or with Revan an offense arrow, or crit damage offense triangle, or crit damage triangle. They both work just fine for him, so it would work to give him that defense bonus if you had the 2 to match. So what I would suggest would then be go through the roster. You need a defensive triangle, so then you click on a defensive triangle in your inventory, which I can't show you because it's not my game, but you really focus on all the mods that you get to upgrade a defensive triangle crit damage, and try to get the speeds up on them. Focus one mod at a time that you need to complete the set. Like for Bastila, tenacity, like you have an offensive one here that you could probably put on Yoda because he's running an offensive set, but I see why you did what you did. It's just so many opportunities I see here that you kind of just stuck some mods on that had the better speed. But even this one for Yoda, for instance, it's got okay offense. It's an offensive cross, which those are hard to come by, but only 14 speed, so you could do better than that with a set that might be more specific to him, like crit chance. But the biggest opportunity I see just right now with mods total-wise in your roster is you just need to farm those crit damage, crit chance ones, and spend a lot of time, spend 150 energy each day farming crit damage, crit chance. Let's take a look at Scoundrels. You got L337, you got Zolbar with a Zeta, Mission with a Zeta, looking great as far as that goes. Nest with the Zeta. I think your Scoundrels are Vandor Chewie with the Zeta. Again, just work on getting him to the 7th star as you can. But I think Scoundrel-wise, you're doing great, other than just that pure focus on Bosk. Take a look at your Sith. You're in very good shape. If you're prepping to get Malak and Darth Revan next time, then you'll want to give Bastila Shan her Gear 12 and her Zeta. But otherwise, looks like you're doing great on Sith. See how you have Traya modded. More for speed, more tenacity, more offense on Traya would probably be better, but it just seems like you have a lot more mod opportunities overall than to really be focusing on stuff like Traya at this time. You want to focus more on those 6-dot arena mods at this time. HK47, again, just in preparation, because he's part of that meta. Just keep working him as you can at your leisure. So overall, your roster, I'd say that you have definitely what you said, 6, 7, 8 range. The opportunities that I can see is really just focus hammer hard on Bosk, focus really hard maybe on Grievance. So it gives you two other viable, not only just teams but leaders. And in the meta right now, as far as Grand Arena and Territory Wars go, and while we have this downtime, while you're still trying to work on the ships for the Millennium Falcon, and while you're working on other things, that would be where I would focus most. Bosk, Grievance, and these ships, which you look like you're doing a pretty good job on as it is for Falcon. But with the new territory battle that's coming, the Geonosian battle, I think that a lot of people they're going to just be rushing to do clones and geos at that time, and that's what they're going to shoot for, because there's probably going to be events coming where you either have to have them, or they're going to release a marquee that's going to want you to spend, and you're going to have special bonuses for everybody that's in these Clone Wars. A lot of these things I think we're going to see more of, but it's probably not a bad idea if you can to at least maybe gear all of them to gear 8 and do their abilities to at least level 7. Gear 9 would be better for all of those, but gear 8 with abilities done is probably fine, because they are such pains to gear overall. But just a lot of mod work, as you kind of had stated, is what I see the opportunity the most in the roster, and I think that's also going to be an opportunity for a lot of our guild. And I just want to show you a little bit what I mean with the mods and how I do some of mine. So if I go into my arena team currently, and just go, and it pains me to even have to do this myself, to use mods that don't line up with each other. I have one crit damage one and one crit chance one, because I don't have any crit chance that matches the speed that I need to get him to. So he's the only one currently that's running a set that's not optimal in my roster. And it's because I keep going in. I know I need a speed mod for this cross. Every day I go in to my speed, I filter out speed, and I see what I have. This is where I specifically will focus all of my resources, and right now I have this one, which I just spun this morning. It's spun on crit chance. This was a gray, I spun, it spun speed, I brought it up to green, and that spun crit chance. So now this mod it's dead to me. I don't care about it anymore. I need a full speed cross with 4 rolls of speed. As soon as a green mod or a gray mod doesn't roll speed to me, that mod becomes dead to me, and I go to the next one. This blue one, for instance, it's dead to me. It's not going to fulfill it because it rolled one for potency. So then I go through, is there any mods that I have a chance to get what I look for? And right now, my blues. Currently, there's none as I'm scrolling through. So then what do? Then I'll go farm speed mods. And I'll take some energy, I'll farm the speed mods, and see if I get any squares, which will give me what I'm looking for. So I'll just go and I'll use some energy right now in my mod challenges. Just go and I'll do 2, hopefully get a square. So you can see what I'm talking about. Yes, I got a blue square. This blue square doesn't have speed. But let's just say it did have speed. So we're going to take the blue mod that I need. We're going to go speed, filter, and we're going to go to this, I guess that wasn't even a 5 dot. Where did that, no, oh yeah, because it doesn't have speed though. So I'll take that off. Okay, so we'll go to this blue level 1 and say that the .77 health is actually a speed. Now I know I'm looking for a fully rolled speed mod to take the place of my arena set. And how you do it first is you get all of your arena team's characters, 5 of them, set to the mod you want, and then everything that you get after that becomes better than that arena team, then those mods go in your inventory on your secondary characters, like your Palpatines and your Bosks and all of those ones. And it's just a cycle down system of once you filled everything that you need for Arena. So let's just say that you need that this offense square like I need. So then I'll go and I'll upgrade the mod. I'll do it 6 automatically because I want to fill those 2 out. Right, so now we have the mod exactly where it needs to be. If we just take the health at 0.77 and say that that's speed. So I would have, say, 10 speed on it right now. So then let's go to 9. Did it roll? Now if it didn't roll speed, this mod is dead to me. Then I would go to a different one. And keep trying and keep trying and keep trying until I get that optimal mod that I truly want. Let's see if I have anything in my whole roster that's a speed mod that I haven't leveled up yet. I know today's event gives bunches of them, just so I can show you what I'm talking about with this from an actual mod perspective. It doesn't look like I do. These health mods, everybody has tons of them, but as you can see, just going through what I have here, I've got so many mods with speed in my roster. The whole roster is basically a bunch of speed secondaries and speed sets and all different speeds and all different categories, and I've got so many with just random speed laying around. And it's because I'm using this exact system that I've showed you. So this one's a perfect, it's a arrow, but let's just say that it's the speed square that I've been looking for. This one has a speed. It's a blue. Automatically take it up to 6. Now it needs to roll speed all the rest of the way for me to invest anything more into this mod for my arena team. So it didn't roll, the mod's dead to me. But let's say that it did roll. Then I would do it again. If it rolls speed again this time, then I'm going to take it all the way up to 15. And then I'll start slicing it. And then if it slices speed, great. I'll continue with that mod for another slice. If it didn't slice the speed, then I'm done. That mod's dead to me yet again. But that's just how you really want to work it, and you want to get your arena team lined up to doing this. And every time you get a new mod that is better than one of your arena team mods, then you 6-dot it and you replace whatever it is. So you end up with a solid set on your arena, and then hand-me-downs, which you go to the rest of the roster. So like my Revan right now, 24 offense, 18 protection cross, 19 protection, 21 speed set, 23 crit damage set, and an obvious 32 speed arrow. So that's how you end up getting mods to fill out the whole rest of your roster, is you focus specifically on your arena team. Now say you go and right now my arena Bastila has a crit damage or triangle speed set exactly what I want of 20 speed. Now say that I just randomly bought one from the store and it spun 23 speed, and it's a speed crit damage. Well, then I can 6-dot that, go to 24 speed, put it on Bastila, and then I can take this 20, and then I can do a hand-me-down to Scion, who needs it right now. He's only sitting at a 5-dot 13 speed protection triangle, so then I could give Scion this one, and that's how you get your whole roster tunes you don't even use other than Territory or Grand Arena to get great sets on them, is if you just focus on that 1 or 2 mods you need to make a perfectly balanced set on somebody by doing exactly how I show. So because this obviously is my first review on Sots, hopefully I answered your questions as far as mods, and if you have anything else, I'll tag this video as kind of my mod tutorial video as well, because I show you kind of exactly my thought process on mods and how to get them. As far as some of your other questions, future goals, well, you have farm up grievance droids and first order gear, so exactly as I've spoken to you, you've already kind of done that, or you have plans to do that, and you're okay with waiting until the second time. And from these crystals that you said you're getting 100 dailies and 150 squad, 100 fleet. Take this time right now while Anakin is still, rolling, to really push on that squad arena and get yourself up there, because you can make lots of crystals and climb over everybody fairly easily with Anakin right now. So now's the time to kind of get ahead on that, and get bonus crystals per se, while the meta's good for you, and to really then have the crystals to then focus on either whatever's coming for the new territory battles, or put you in a quicker position to get boss done, or a quicker time to work on grievance. And again, for grievance with that suicide droid team, you don't even need his lead zated, you just need that unique zated and a bunch of suicide droids, so to speak. So you could have that done fairly quickly, as long as you're willing to just put some resources into gearing him. And again, any other questions that you have on modding or more specifics, just give me a holler. Hope you guys all enjoy that listen to it, and I hope, as the first review, you got something out of this, Sots. So hopefully it helps some, and I'll see you guys with my 40 other reviews that I'm going to do here over the next couple weeks.